All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Numberblox Q&A. Long anticipated. Yeah. So I asked you guys questions about Numberblox, my show with an X, on my community tab. And we got a whopping 79 comments. I'm assuming that some of them are going to be repeats, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to look through these. Let's start with this question by Ali5025. And their question is, will 71 be figured out? So, as many of you know, in the series currently, we sometimes, occasionally have the episode where we figure out or give new personalities to all the numbers going up, like, to a certain 10. So we had the 50s episodes being Rockstar Recruits 1 and 2, where we got to meet 51 to 59. I believe that in High Rollers 2, which was the end of the 60s episode, I may have said the 70s episode name. I can't really remember. We're going over the rainbow!
That's the name of the 70s episode, isn't it?
Yep. But, the 70s one will be happening. I'm maybe thinking of doing it at the end of Season 3. I think doing 2 sets of figuring out episodes per season is the right move to do there, just because to keep the pattern going. I got a comment by Chuck Plays here talking about the Negative Block series that was mentioned at the end of Season 1, Episode 11, Negatives, where one says this.
Maybe a spinoff would be good. Yes. Maybe at the end of Season 3. What?
That was a joke for a while, until I put it on that big, like, Season 3 announcement trailer. Yeah, the Negative Block spinoff was a silver goal on that video for 4,000 likes. Currently, the video has 1.5 thousand, which means we are going to get all of those bronze goals. I forgot to talk about Negative Blocks. I don't even know how that would really be, honestly. I probably still have to figure that out, but, yeah, if we get 4,000 likes on that video, or whenever I finish Season 3, I make a new video and have that goal, yeah, there you go, Negative Block spinoff. We got question by Country Ball Plushie Object Show. Why did you make Numberblox? Okay, so picture the scene, right? It's February 14th, 2020, and I'm sitting in class in 5th grade, and I'm currently doodling on my paper something. I start making a storyboard for, like, a fan-made Numberblox episode, you know, like, the real show, about, one trying to give to a Valentine's gift, because, you know, it was the adamantly named, February 14th Valentine's Day, right? So I didn't really know what to make it on, so I just opened up Roblox Studio, created the blocks, and just moved them around like that, because I didn't really know what to do. This was also during the point in time where my Big One video completely blew up, so people were starving for new Numberblox content, I guess. So I made that thing. Didn't really expect it to go anywhere, and now we're here. So, yeah, there was that. I don't have the original storyboards for that anymore. That's like a crazy piece of lost media that we just don't have anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, that's why I made Numberblox. It was for fun. Question number 2 is, why did you take a break on Numberblox? There are a few reasons for this. Number 1 was I was currently trying to finish up the Inanimate Insanity ranking video, which I was working on since August 2024 and finished on July 2025. I procrastinated like hell on that video. It should have only taken a couple months. It took way longer just because of lots of other factors, including I got injured around April, pretty major injury there, so it kind of limited my ability to do a lot of things relating to YouTube. Another reason was in 2025 I turned 16, which many people, including my parents, think that I'm getting way too old for this thing. I mean, when I made the big one, I was kind of already too old for this show. I mean, it's basically for like toddlers. I do want to actually get back into it though, because I kind of want to disassociate my show from the main show entirely and just make it my own thing with like more teenager based humor. And what I mean by that is like, you know, more like stuff that would, you know, actually entertain someone of like 12 to 13, right? We got a question by Radioactive Shrimpo. Will you make merch for Numberblox? Like a plush of one that's just a red cube? I've been asked this question a lot, and I've been thinking about that, and I don't think that would even really work. I don't think that my show is at the graphical level enough to create accurate merch of. I mean, yeah, you basically just have a red cube in your house, which is really easy to make, but it's also kind of stupid. I could definitely make one for like one of the bigger numbers though, like 18. But then there's also like the concept of copyright infringement there, you know. You can't really do that. That's kind of like not my thing. It's a fair use parody, and if I mark it off of that, then you know, like what the hell, man. We got a question by Nebula 2763. Will more lore be added to the Numberblox episodes? I do eventually want to expand the story of the show more. And by story, I mean like really low stakes, you know. I do like the idea of stuff continuing over from previous episodes, such as the case with, what was it, That Fateful Day, which was a really fun episode to make with lots of callbacks to previous episodes, which I really liked to do. You could definitely tell it was made up as it goes, though. I mean, that's basically how every Numberblox episode works. Another question by Nebula is, what is my favorite episode that you've ever made so far? The more I think about it, I think it may be 6's Obstacle Course. I really loved that episode, and the way it just, everything flowed together really nicely, and how funny it was. It's just so stupid. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I watched a Numberblox episode recently that had a very similar looking thing about that episode, which was the Numberblox going in horizontal rooms and trying to figure out stuff, which I don't want to take credit for, but if I actually inspired something that would, you know, be part of the main show, that's kind of insane. Simply CC Pick asked, will there be a figuring out 101 to 109 episode? I think that's a question that we should get to when we get to freaking 80 and 90. After there, I'm not sure if we'll continue the figuring out series. I mean, maybe I'll do like occasional figuring outs in some episodes just for fun. Kind of like how I did in Square Power Sucks for 121 and 144. They didn't appear in the show before then. They were strictly for that episode. Will the Fractions and Zero return? Well, the Fractions actually haven't made a single appearance in this show yet, despite for that one short I made, which wasn't even really part of the show's canon, in my opinion. I still don't really know whether to consider that episode a short or not, considering it's longer than, like, 10 Dies Again, which is like a main season 1 episode. But if we're talking about the Fractions eventually returning, they are really fun characters, especially to create, like, to make, like, the colors, like, form in the middle, like, the color in between red and orange being, like, this reddish orange for 1.5. It's all super fun. There's a lot of questions this time about characters dying, and specifically how many times they have. I can't really pinpoint a correct answer right now. I believe that the Numberblox wiki has answers, maybe. So check there if you want, like, actual stuff. And also more info about the actual episodes. That thing is pretty well done, even though some pages are not finished. We got a question from Cyan H5N. How did 5 escape the forest? Currently we don't know, because the last episode was March 18th, 2024. That wasn't the date it came out, that was the name of the episode. We don't know how 5 escaped yet. We just don't know. I don't know either, because I haven't finished working on the next episode. We got 2, like, math-based questions back-to-back, which is asking about Numberblox episodes about factorials and, like, tetrations for the series, so I could definitely put those as, like, potential episode ideas on the list, especially the pattern of each season having its final episode being based on a math concept, which I don't know if anybody caught, but it's a fun thing I like doing. So maybe the last episode of season 3 could involve a bunch more math concepts. Maybe it can go back to the previously mentioned topic of fractions, maybe explore that a bit more. Maybe we can talk about pi, maybe that'd be fun, and make like a circle. That's kind of cool. Tuber Studios asks, when will the show end? That's a question I've been thinking about for a while. When do I actually want this thing to end? Ideally, maybe after season 4, maybe season 5, maybe season, like, 25. I don't know, but at this point, I'm not sure. I could really just end the thing at any time and nobody would even know, really. It's kind of funny. Comedy Works 3391 asks, will the game go on another obby or obstacle course? Right now, I'm trying to limit the amount of obstacle course ones I do, just because I think it's a really tired formula for the show at this point, especially with how many have been made. And also, they're just really easy to get done, and I kind of want to do something that involves more of a challenge with, like, building. I want to get better at, like, building for the episode, so I want to do something that really, like, whoa, that was a cool thing that appeared in the episode. I can't believe he made that. Why was 4 left behind in 6's obstacle course? The reason is, I forgot that 4 was a character, because funny thing is, I'm kind of colorblind, which may not be a surprise at all, as I keep getting comments on the 6 times table episode asking, why are the 30s green? And the answer to that is I am partially colorblind and can't distinguish certain colors, so there's a very high chance I could have just missed 4 being green and blending in with the orange walls of Challenge 1 in 6's obstacle course and just forgot he was there. It's like he, like, camouflaged. Oh my gosh, Harry Vlogs 876. Will 6-7 change his personality? Okay, so now we're finally talking about it, aren't we? We're talking about General 67 and, you know, the meme. So 67 used to be just a random number, I'd say, just for fun. It'd just be like the most random number I could think of. It obviously now has a much more bigger meaning in pop culture. But as for General 67, I don't think I'm going to change his personality, even though it would be very funny if he's just, like, really annoying, but I think the idea of him being a military general is really fun, even though if it was only for a one-off episode. That whole episode, Military Madness, was one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. Fun fact about that episode, by the way, it was inspired by an Eddsworld episode called Moving Targets. Do I still watch Numberblox? The actual show, I'm assuming, no. Most likely because there hasn't been a new episode in a long time, but if they did make a new episode, I just checked to see if they added a new character and move on. Just because it's, even if it wasn't really my thing, if I really wasn't the target audience when I was 11, it's definitely not when I'm 16. GBTBFDIM asks, how many episodes will Numberblox Season 3 have? Right now, I'm aiming for a pretty good episode count of, like, 16. We also reached that goal of 5 extra episodes on the Numberblox Season 3 trailer, so ideally the number would be 21. Marker the Green C80 asks when episode 9 will come out. Oh boy, do I have news for you. We're going to release episode 9 of Season 3 on the same exact day that the last episode came out last year. So December 25th, 2025 will be episode 9 of Season 3. I hope you guys are excited. And I have more news regarding the return of Numberblox very soon. But for now, this is just the Q&A video, so you're just gonna have to wait. I think that's a good place to end the video, actually. Hope you all enjoyed the Q&A. Hope you learned lots of new stuff about Numberblox and the future of it. Again, this is not the last time you'll hear about Season 3's return, or literally anything compared to the show. I'm preparing to release a pretty large video about Numberblox very soon, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna include a lot of stuff. I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for 50,000 subscribers, by the way. I know it was mostly because of my Numberblox content that I even got here, so, you know, thank you everybody who stuck around. Yeah, that's all I gotta say for now. Tune in next week for that huge video. Well, it's not huge, but it does involve a lot of huge news. Yes, okay, that is all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!